I think we are live right
Hey
now.
everybody, we are live. We are live as of 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds ago.
Also, 10:15 on the dot, y'all. Everyone in the chat saying we're going to be late. Technically, we kind of were, but we moved the stream back, so now we're technically on time again.
We moved it because we just wanted to, and therefore not late. Boom, right on time, baby.
I wish I had a hat.
Part of my voice, I lost it a week ago, and then through a week of working, it's going downhill again.
Through a week of talking,
It's fatigued. So
that is the problem with our job, right? We talk all day, every day, right?
Sure.
So if one of us loses our voice, it's hard to get it back because you're not like in an office job where you're like, okay, I can just like not talk for like the entire day. It's like, no, we literally don't have that option.
Yeah, so gotta keep on talking to you nerds.
Yeah, we're not late. We're perfectly on time.
Yeah, excuse me, but how dare you?
Hello, y'all.
Anyone who claims we're late, ban them in chat.
Yeah. Hi, Danny Palm. Danny, it was so good to play a game with you.
That's all.
That was Mike's reaction. Yeah,
that's my reaction.
Hello,
it says
everybody.
everything it needs to say. A little bit
Again,
of
that's you
Russian.
saving your voice. We got to record something after this.
Yeah, I'm really going my side. We are recording playthrough.
We have people coming to fix one of our windows, and they will come sometime in the next number of days, including maybe today. So just to let you know, we might have to.
Now, thankfully, this room is windowless, so they won't be in here, but we'll see if it comes up.
Yeah, exactly.
It could happen.
But yeah, we're going to be here for a rapid review. So we're talking about all the games that we played last month. We will talk about and review all of the new games. I believe there's 17. It was kind of a slower month for us this month.
Yeah, kind of the April sort of the doldrums because we have like things like Dice Tower West in March and stuff, and then we have in May BGG Spring, and April sort of this
kind of weird. It's just normal gaming stuff. Yeah,
just normal game, which we did do.
And it's been busy and stuff. What's up, Getting People? What's up, people in chat? What's up, Zen? So we'll talk about all the new games, and then we'll very, very quickly go through the old games as we are wont to do, because we've talked about the games many, many, many times. Yeah. But yeah, so we'll go through. First thing we'll do is we'll always shout out our patrons. We'll always talk about the new patrons we got from the month prior. So if you want to check out all the fun stuff over on our Patreon, we had a top 10 come out today. Make sure to go watch that. And Jimmy has his own top 10 over on the Patreon that's out there today, where he's talking about his most played games, and you're kind of like there trying to guess his most played games.
what
which
games
is fun.
I think are on his top. Yeah.
But big shout out to James Jones, Connor Leffler, Trans Isomer, Tons of Fun 113, sound like fun, Thomas Bowskill, Ron Emick, Cooper Youngs, and RJ Nicholson. Yeah. Appreciate y'all so much. We really appreciate it.
Thanks so much, y'all.
It means a lot to us. And people are like, here's $1. Honestly, it means a lot.
No, it literally helps us make this particular world of ours go around. So thank you.
It said, thanks to you and your channel, you have been assisting me with my newfound hobby. I love your insight and videos. Keep it up. I think I'm a sofa. First of all, I feel like you're a person, but you might be a sofa. And honestly, if you're a sentient sofa playing board games, that's great.
It's perfect because board games and comfort go together, and you are already half of that.
Yeah.
You are comfort.
Yes, exactly.
That's beautiful.
So thank you so much. We're so happy that we're able to kind of guide you a little bit. Because one thing about board games is weird. We'll get to the rapid reviews in a second. But like, board games are a really tough hobby because of the fact that you kind of need someone to guide you.
You need a guide.
Whether that's a YouTube channel or a friend who likes board games. Because I always give the example, it's like if you're like a board game store, a board game cafe, and you're like, oh, look at this cool Space Lion game. That seems really cool. Like, I like space, and you grab TI4, it's like you have no idea. Because again, theme does not equate to weight of the game.
No.
So like sometimes you're like, oh, let's grab this really cute themed game like Dungeon Pets, which is like a heavy Euro game, right? So it's like there's no, even if they put on the box, like this one has like low complexity, high strategy.
I love when they have like the little kind of stats. It's like, this is what you're getting into.
For sure, but there's just no other indication
Yeah.
other than like employees at the store being like, these are good beginner games. So it's like one of those things where it's like board games are tough in that way because you have to have someone kind of guide you through it, or else you can end up grabbing root, as Linnea just said, because it's cute, and just hating board games because of it, because you're like, oh, this was way too much, you know?
Sure.
We're going to be covering a game very soon that we played a while ago, and we played it. It was kind of too heavy and too complex, and now we're like, oh, this is like not that big a deal anymore. But that's just kind of how it goes.
It is literally a muscle that will get stronger as you play board games. Whether or not you like want to delve into heavier gaming or not, there's no correct answer there, but like your mind will get better at taking in those rules and stuff. So I think I'm a sofa. Thanks for being in the hobby. We're so happy you're here.
Hi, Jared.
Zen, how you doing? Nice to see you, Zen. What up, Jared? Yeah,
Hi, Jenna.
And Aaron says, Linnea is my board game guide. Yes, it's important. It's nice.
Yeah.
What's up, Jenna?
Ooh, Jenna, I was watching Jenna play the new Earth expansions, which we are playing very soon here. I'm very excited to play them.
Play through that coming next week.
Yeah. Speaking of next week, should we talk about next week's stream?
Let's do it.
Real quick. We'll get into the rapid reviews eventually, I promise you.
We will talk about it. So next week, 1 week from today, as of this filming, if you're watching it live, if you're not watching it live, I don't know when you're watching it, and I cannot speak to that.
The stream might be over. But a week from this,
May 9th.
It'll be May 9th.
We will be streaming at 10 Pacific time, only time.
Only time.
And we are going to be playing through the Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game.
Whole thing.
In its entirety. We're going to go through all the chapters. You, me, Jimmy, 3-player, getting down. Come with us on the journey through Middle Earth. First third of it, anyway.
Yes.
And we're going to play through the entirety. Sponsored by Office Dog.
As long as it takes. Which I don't think will be like one of our huge marathon streams. But yeah, it'll be Office Dog.
Depends on how often we fail, I guess.
Down to sponsor us doing it because we love Lord of the Rings, love that trick-taking game. So be here next week. We'll be playing through all of that. I was going to say spoilers. It's the Lord of the Rings. So if you don't know the story, I guess the spoilers are how the individual mechanics of each chapter work.
Sure, I guess,
but whatever.
Story-wise, you know what's going on.
Nonetheless, let's go ahead and get into our rap reviews. As always, we do these in alphabetical order, and we start with our new games and then the old games. So, new to us, Mikey didn't get to play this one, but I finally got to play Alchemist.
Literally so jealous.
Been trying for so long. I will teach you and play it. Now I got it in my brain case.
Yeah.
Yes, I finally got to play Alchemist. So if you have followed our channel for a while, you know that Mike and I, but particularly me, because I feel like I had more aversion to them than you did, have kind of taken a deduction game journey on the channel in terms of just like our enjoyment of logical deduction games. I used to really actively disdain them. I really disliked them because they just made me feel stupid. And then I realized that I'm a super genius. And so that helped my journey. But nonetheless, so as we started to like deduction games, people kept saying, you got to play Alchemist, you got to play Alchemist, you got to play Alchemist, because it's a big, heavy Euro deduction game. And we got Alchemist a while back, and then I've tried to read the rulebook a couple times and just like never really got through it. And it was one of the things where I was trying to read the rulebook. With a lot of games nowadays, because I just have so many games in my head, I need to read a rulebook when we're going to play the game.
Yeah,
Because if I read the rulebook and don't play the game, I will forget it the next day. At this point, my mind is too fried from learning new games all day, every day, basically.
Yeah.
So
it's a blessing and a curse. We can learn rules fast. We forget them faster.
But so I kept learning it and then just kept forgetting it. So I was like, I told Jimmy and Mike, I was like, we need to set this for a game day because then I will have to learn it and they'll have to play it. So me and Jimmy had a game day and we played it. This is ultimately kind of like a worker placement game,
right? Where
you are trying to find out the alchemical makeup of these various ingredients. So all the ingredients will have a red attribute, a green attribute, and a blue attribute, and each of those will be either positive or negative. So like this little frog, that's one of the ingredients, could be like positive red, negative green, negative blue. Like that's its alchemical thing. And the game is run by an app, so every single game, those different alchemical makeups will be assigned to different stuff every single game. So every single game, it's going to be a different makeup of that kind of stuff. Yeah. And so basically what you're doing is you find out what these things are by putting ingredients together and making a potion and then drinking it. Either you drink it or you forcing your student to drink it, which is very funny. This is definitely back in that like Dungeon Pets era of CGE. It has the same artist as like Dungeon Pets, where it's kind of like very silly in a lot of ways, which I actually kind of wish. I love the new CG with like SETI. New SETI expansion just got announced. But nonetheless, like I really like silly, heavy Euro games, and CGE was like the absolute king and queens of this.
There's like a sense of humor throughout the rules, the gameplay, the graphic design in Alchemist and Dungeon Pets. That is really nice.
Really, really nice. But nonetheless, so that's what you're doing. You could make your student drink them, or you can drink them yourself. And then basically when you drink them, it will tell you what potion it made. So it'll basically say, these two ingredients made a red positive potion. And I'm not going to explain how it kind of does that, but basically you'll know what it is. And so then you go like, okay, on your little chart thing, you can chart, okay, the frog and the kind of mushroom thing made red positive. And that means that you know the alchemical thing can't be anything that has red negative for each of those things because they made a red positive. So as you're testing these ingredients, you're then finding out various things, and it essentially allows you to deduce what alchemical properties each ingredient has. And then you can do things like publish theories where you're like, I'm sure that this one has this alchemical property. And then other people can then like try and debunk that if they think you're wrong and yada, yada, yada. It's kind of a big, heavy Euro game. It's great. I really, really like it. I will say I would love to see a second edition. They just came out with Little Alchemist. We really hope that means that they're maybe floating out the idea of like an Alchemist second edition.
I gotta think they are.
Because there's just a lot of stuff. This game is like over 10 years old, I think, at this point. There's a lot of stuff in this game where I'm like, man, if this game was made today, this would have been cleaned up. This would have been different. This part would have been a little bit more streamlined. The way they do the things would have been a little less confusing. Like, it just would have been different.
Yeah.
And I think it could really, really benefit from that. A Alchemist second edition, I honestly think if they cleaned up some of the stuff that's just fiddly and kind of like, this rule is weird, but they did it for balancing reasons. And honestly, just in nowadays kind of development stage, all that stuff would have gotten smoothed out. I honestly think it'd probably be a top 50 game for me, maybe even more.
Wow.
As of right now, I still really, really like it. I thought it was great. I really want you to try it. But yes, as far as a bigger kind of deduction game goes, it was great. There's a solo variant on BGG that someone made. Also, when they go like a new version, I'm pretty sure they would make a solo variant, kind of a la like Search for Planet X, where like the solo is trying to find out the alchemical stuff too. So, because this is a game that like I would play solo constantly, and so yeah, Alchemist was really good.
Wanna play it?
Yeah. Played Ancient Knowledge? What was it called?
Ancient Knowledge. It's a game from Yellow. It's on Board Game Arena.
Yellow.
And it's an interesting one. It's one where you are getting these cards, and like you're putting them into a tableau, and I think there's 5 or 6 slots in your tableau. And then as you play these cards out, they're gonna have like maybe an instant benefit, an endgame scoring thing. And then as you go through the game, these things are basically going to be sliding across your board, and eventually you're going to be like kind of like lost to time. And they might be, you know, different monuments of the past or things like that. And you are doing these actions to kind of remove, I don't know what, because I haven't like read the rules specifically, like what they're called, but these kind of tokens that get put on there.
Yeah.
To be able to kind of score the maximum amount. You don't want to have a bunch of waste because that's you kind of forgetting stuff or whatever. But you ultimately want these things to get removed of these tokens and then put into your kind of past to then be able to trigger and be able to do some different stuff or have them be available for endgame scoring. Or it might be that this card, when it goes into your past, is when it triggers its effect. And you're doing kind of all these things to score points. There's like, you know, these knowledge cards you can gain based on like what kinds of things you put into your past already and stuff. And those might give you like a bonus or an endgame scoring thing. There's kind of cards that give you like perpetual powers. And it becomes this kind of like tableau management game where, oh, I have this card in play. And that means that every time I bring in the same color card in the future, it comes in with one of fewer of those tokens. So it's going to be easier to get that card cleared. Oh, that's cool. Or I have this perpetual power card that says, you know, if I have 4 or more of those tokens across my tableau, I can remove any 2 tokens. So you start to build a kind of an engine to kind of manipulate your tableau, but you are losing those cards throughout the game and trying to complete them and stuff. It's an interesting one. I'd like to play it in person to get just a better grasp of like thematically what's going on, but it's a very enjoyable one. I'd happy to play it again.
I've heard it's good. I don't know much about it other than the fact that I know it's a tableau game. That's mostly I know what
tableau
I know about.
Management. Very much trying to find stuff that kind of chains off each other and
I've always heard good things about it though. Yeah,
it's cool.
Cool. I got to play Azul Duel.
That's right.
I got to play Azul Duel. Me and Jimmy, I think in the month of April, had 3 separate game days. We had one at your house when you were out of town and I was watching the puppies.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And then we had one the next weekend, and then we had one last week.
You had like 3 weeks in a row?
Yeah, me and Jimmy had like 3 weeks in a row where we had game days, none of which Mike was invited to, which was great.
I was just...
you very busy.
It's my fault for being out of town that one time, you know?
It is your fault for being out of town.
You gave it to my house. I was just like, wow.
Wow. Rude. They're going to play Azul Duel. This is the new version of Azul. They could have just called it a duel. But nonetheless, a duel is it's very Azul-like, right? So this is a game.
Very like kind of OG Azul.
It's much more like
similar
OG
to the
Azul.
first
Yeah,
one.
because they've had lots of different versions of Azul. They've gotten kind of more and more different as they've gone. This one feels much more like the original Azul. So much so that I really liked this game because I like Azul. But I'm kind of like, I didn't really feel like this one kind of needed to exist, especially not like the duel aspect of it. Like, I didn't feel very duely with it.
In terms of like a heads-up two-player.
Yeah, not really. I'm like, Azul's already a really confrontational game, so like for me to like a dual version, we either have to be not confrontational at all, so it's very different, or insanely confrontational. And I thought this one was just kind of like normal Azul, but nonetheless, it was still good. You are getting the various tiles that you're getting. In this case, you're making a dome ceiling theme, instead of a mosaic.
Highly
wall.
thematic.
Highly thematic. So you're making like a dome ceiling, and kind of the main twist, you're still getting them from factories and stuff. Kind of the main twist is like when you take, all of one color from a factory, everything else goes onto this like moon spot, because each little factory spot has a sun spot and a moon spot. And basically on your turn, you can either take all of one color from a sun spot, or you can take all of one color from all the moon spots. But when you put things on a moon spot, you stack them up like this. You can only ever take what's on top. So that's kind of gives a little bit of a wrinkle to like the normal just grabbing stuff.
I do like that part.
And then you have these dome tiles, and this is the place where you're putting them in your board. And so you don't have like a set just grid there. You actually have to like draft out these tiles and place them in, and the tiles can only take certain colors and such. But then it's normal Azul where you're kind of putting them in rows, and then you have to fill that row, and then the rightmost goes over and the rest go back in the bag and that kind of stuff. It's very Azul. So that's kind of how I felt. I was like, this is great, but this is just feels like a slight variation of Azul. Yeah. And I really like Azul, so I really liked this one, but it didn't feel anything like dual about it, and I was like, this kind of feels like Azul. It's still really fun. I still really like it. It's smaller. It's kind of, but also now at this point we have Azul Mini, so I'm like, well, it's not even like the small Azul because we just have small Azul. So I thought it was really, really great. I really liked it because again, I like Azul, but I personally feel like you have Azul and like kind of base Azul. I don't really think you need to get this one, but it's good. I really liked it because I like Azul, and the pieces are still pretty.
There you go.
Indeed. You played Cafe?
Cafe.
Cafe.
This is one that Linnea showed me there in chat. And I played a couple games and played a game at 2-player and at 4-player. And this is a game where you are getting a card each round. I think there's 8 turns in the game. And you're going to have to add this card to your kind of puzzle, stacky situation of cards. You'll have to do it so that it overlaps 2 of the 6 sections on your card, overlap some other stuff that you've already placed. And these are going to give you, these have different icons where it might have show different colors of coffee beans, or different fields where you can dry coffee beans, or roasters, or various places where you can basically deliver your different coffee beans to. So essentially contracts. They're all on these cards.
Okay.
And as you build your tableau, you will then be able to take actions to produce beans. Then you have to dry them, roast them, and then you can use them for delivery to kind of either put into your warehouse.
Just pack them in like a chipmunk.
Or, deliver them to a cafe or to a customer or whatever it might be.
So it's speakeasy, basically.
Kind of basically speakeasy.
It's basically.
But it's really interesting because as you layer these cards, if you ever have a situation where you have, 2 or more coffee beans all in a contiguous group, if I take an action and I go to do the produce and this whole big group, you get to do basically all of that. Or if I have 2 of the drying fields, when you do a dry action, you can choose one color, so red, and all your reds go onto there.
Yeah.
If I have 2 drying fields together, the same action, I can activate both of those, and I could do all the reds on one, all the greens on another, but it still only takes one action. So you can kind of build efficiently in that way. But of course, you're trying not to cover up stuff that you want access to.
Of course.
And it creates a really interesting puzzle. Like, I think it's really kind of fun and awesome. I would really like to pick this one up physically because I just kind of dig the look and
I
everything.
really like the
game.
cover. I love the look of it.
It's very kind of minimalist when you're playing, but like it's a cool game.
Yeah,
and I'm like, man, I would really like this one because it feels a little bit different with the way you're kind of stacking cards and overlapping stuff and covering certain things and blah blah blah. So
very cool.
Yeah,
that sounds great. I love that. I love coffee as a theme.
Plus, coffee's great. So
I have coffee in here. So.
It's not helping my voice, but it's good to drink.
Definitely is not helping your voice. And whenever that happens, it's like, stop drinking coffee. I'm like, I'd rather die. You know? Indeed.
I've had a lot of water today, too. So.
Are you calling it conspiracy? This is like the small abyss, right?
Excuse me. Yeah, it's in the abyss
universe
world.
Yeah. This is so good.
And it shares...
Is it like, 2-player?
I think so.
Okay, I feel like it's 2-player.
I think so. I've only ever played a 2-player.
You talk.
Anyway, so this is a game where you're going to have, I think, 15 cards you play ultimately that are the different like lords, the kind of the characters from Abyss. And on your turn, you can draw 1, 2, or 3 lords. So if you want more options, you'll draw 3. You'll only play 1 of them. And then everything else goes kind of into a discard pile, sorted by color type. So all the reds, all the yellows.
Yeah.
And stuff. Which is interesting because if there's like 2 or 3 yellow in a discard, you can, instead of drawing from the deck, take from the discard.
Yeah.
And then play all of those cards. And you're trying to fill out your thing to make groups of the same color. Different lords have different values, so you want to get like highest value possible of each type. So it has some of that abyssness where it's like you want to have a high value of each faction essentially. You're gaining pearls and stuff. There are locations you can gain that'll give you a little bit of scoring. So it's got kind of like all the abyssness to it. Just in a slightly different way, where now you're building this tableau of again, I think 15 cards, and trying to kind of create like a nice synergistic thing. It's interesting because it feels, it's fun to watch. Like, oh, this is that from Abyss, and I've changed it to this, or that's that from Abyss, and I changed it to this. It's a good game. I enjoy it, and it's pretty quick.
Yeah, I'd be loving some Abyss. I got to play Dead Reckoning. So we have technically played Dead Reckoning before, but it has been many, many years, and I completely didn't know how to play anymore. So I was put in the new category because why not? But yeah, so we had to play Dead Reckoning. This is one of the game days that me and Jimmy had. He wanted to play it. And again, similar thing where I was like, all right, I now then have to relearn this. And so that's kind of a good excuse for me to have to relearn it. Right. So this is by Sir John D. Clare, and this is in his card crafting universe of games with AEG, where in this case you are pirates and you have various crew of your pirates and you are getting upgrades and you're putting them in your card sleeves to upgrade those things, kind of like he does in Mystic Vale and a whole bunch of other games. It's kind of one of his main things.
Yep.
And then you basically are trying to do a whole bunch of different stuff. There are a bunch of different islands. You're basically trying to have control of those islands. And so, because you can get like various cargo and then money from those islands and stuff like that. And you're basically fighting for control of those. You can fight the other players. There are like merchant ships around that you can either gain as an upgrade for one of your crew, or you can attack them to get some money, of course, because you're pirates doing pirate stuff. And so that's basically what you're doing. It's kind of open in the sense of like, you don't really have like you need to be doing this, you need to be doing that. You can kind of do whatever you want.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's cool. So we learned it. We played with like the Sea Dogs expansion, which is like you basically draft out 4 special pirates that replace some of your pirates. So you have slightly asymmetric decks. Which is cool. And we were kind of like, we should just throw this in because it's very easy to throw in. And it's one of those things where I'm like, cool, never not play with this. It's very small. It's just like a box that basically just has like...
Because we have like the Saga expansions and we haven't even touched those. That's obviously a bigger thing. But
yeah, that's like a campaign basically. And I am curious about that. So the way we decided to play it was because 2-player Dead Reckoning is kind of weird because like unless you're really aggressively going at each other... there's not much fighting in it because like you can fight the merchant ships, but that's kind of it. There's no like rebel pirates coming in like in the game. So there's a way you can play solo, and there's a way in the solo mode where basically you can play like a 2v2 co-op game, and it's 2 players, and you're playing against 2 solo opponents.
Cool.
So that's what it is. So essentially you're playing a 4-player game. So me and Jimmy played that, and we played a 4-player game of it essentially against the 2 solo ones. And the solo bots were pretty darn easy to run. And so basically, like, me and Jimmy will have a combined score. They'll have a combined score, and you're basically trying to beat them. And it was really good. I liked it a lot. This is one of those games that, like, it's just, I just know that this is one of those games that's like, cool, I probably won't play this game for another couple years, just because it'll just end up happening that way.
Sure.
I would love to go through the Saga stuff, because I think it's really cool and really interesting, but I just know that we probably won't have the time to do that. But I think it's a really interesting system. I think as the card crafting systems go, this is one of the cooler ones.
Yeah.
And it's just a really good time. The art is by Tool. It's absolutely incredible looking. It's just really, really cool. I like the card crafting idea. And this one works really, really well. And so I liked it a lot. Would love to keep playing it. I think we're going to try and play it again at BGG Spring with our friend Charlie. So maybe I'll get to play it again soon. But then other than that, it'll be kind of a tough one to get to the table. Although I swear, it's not that complicated. I distinctly remember it being way more complicated than it actually was. And so
it's not that bad.
Yeah,
it's just, there's a lot of stuff to set up.
There's a lot of stuff, yeah. It's a whole thing. But nonetheless, that is Dead Reckoning. It was V good.
And Linnea, yes, we have played Conspiracy. It was a while ago, and I guess it didn't get logged. Maybe I wasn't importing BGA or something.
Rude.
So it came back as a new thing. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But when I first got invited recently, I was like, have I played this game?
Right.
This looks familiar. And then through playing, I'm like, I totally remember what's going on. And
Okay.
you're 100% the one that showed me it to begin.
Did you play this yet?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, Mikey took it
I'm
home.
going to try to do this weekend.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, because you're
Single dad in it.
solo dadding it, I got to play the Dragons of Etchin Stone. This is the new solo chip theory game. I was a trick-taking game. Chip theory game. Although this one, I don't know where they're going to put a chip.
I don't think there's any room for chips.
I feel like they always end up having a chip.
Don't think there's going to be custom
Somehow.
dice.
I know.
This is sort of their tariff preparedness game.
Yeah. There'll be a lot of small box card games coming, y'all, I think, in general. But nonetheless,
I do like those games.
Dragons of Etchin Stone is made by the person who's made like Gloomholden and stuff, or the Buttons and Bugs, which is what it ultimately came to. But this person is a BGG, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, sorry. They're a BGG user, and they make like Palm versions of games. They made a Palm version of the game Mistfall, that old, used to be NSKN, which was now Board and Dice. They made like a Palm version of that. They made a Palm version of Gloomhaven. And then they, I believe, made this game, and they were selling it on Game Crafter, and then basically Chip Theory has picked it up, basically is what it is. So it's no longer available on Game Crafter, in case you were curious. But this is a game where you play in your hand. I actually tend to play it on the table, and I played it that way for the video I did. You can watch a playthrough of this.
Watch a playthrough.
And I actually think it's kind of a little bit easier that way, because you have to like double hand it, because it's a two-hander. But basically, in your left hand, there is going to be a card, like a lead card, that is basically going to tell you who you're going to fight, because there's always a region card on the very top of your deck, and it's going to have 4 enemies and then 4 little journeys. And those are basically, the lead card will basically, or the key card, I think is what it's called, will tell you what you're going to do. You're going to do the 3rd journey. You're going to do the 2nd enemy. And then basically you'll have a hand of 4 cards in your right hand, and then you can basically make, Danny Palm loves Palm versions, that makes sense. You're basically going to make what's called an action set. So there'll be one card that's a reserve that you're not going to use. And then the first card is basically going to dictate your initiative, and it's going to dictate the color of your action set, which is going to be the color of your spell. So like a purple. So it's a purple one with 3 initiative. You have 3 initiative, and your whole action set is purple. The second card is going to be either your attack or your journey, depending either if you're going on a journey or attacking someone. And then basically every attack and journey on here is going to have a base value and then a higher value that you'll get to use if the element of your action set matches that color. So if we made a purple action set with our first card, and the second card has like 3 attack, but then 7 attack that's in purple, we get to use the 7 attack because we made our element purple with the first card. And the last card, on the bottom of the card, there is a boost value. Let's say like +1, +2, +5, something like that. You basically get to add that boost value to your initiative or to your attack or to your journey. So basically, you make this little action set of 3 cards, and again, the first one is your initiative, your element, the second one is your attack or journey, and the third one is your boost. And then you basically compare it to whatever you're doing. If you're fighting an enemy, if your initiative isn't higher than theirs, they're going to hit you, and then at the end of the battle, if you didn't kill them, they'll hit you again. So your initiative, you want to be higher than them so that they don't hit you that initial time.
Okay.
Then you'll do damage to them. If you defeat them, they don't hit you back. But if you do at least half damage, you always get the XP they give you. So it's one of those things where a lot of times you're like, I just need to get to half because then I get the XP. And the journey is kind of the same way, where as long as you get to the half what the journey level is, you get the XP. And the XP is nice because XP allows you to then turn your cards over and flip them because they have levels 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Right.
So you're trying to get them leveled up. But then if you take damage, every card also has a shield ability, and then basically that'll soak up damage, and you have to downgrade a card. You have to downgrade it from like 2 to 1. So all your cards start on 2, so you can downgrade them to 1s. It's really, really fun. And then eventually you're going through this deck, and you'll go through 4 regions, eventually find a big old dragon, which is going to be a really big journey and then a really big fight, and you basically need to survive the fight. And if you survive the fight, you win. If you don't survive the fight, you lose. Wow. And it's really, really fun. I've played it a couple times on my own where I wasn't like explaining the whole thing on camera. And it's like 30 minutes, so it's pretty quick. I really, really liked it. There's like 4 different dragons that come in the base game. There's already like, I think 2 expansions for it. They're already selling for it. Cool. So like, it's really, really cool. I really like it. Yeah, it was fun. It's a really fun, interesting puzzle of like, what do you upgrade? What do you downgrade? You know, do you keep downgrading stuff down to 1s? If you downgrade past a 1, that card goes away. It's really interesting, and I thought it was really, really fun. And so, yeah.
Sergeant says, I'm solo down this weekend, too, planning to set up Search for Planet X on my table after the kids go to bed.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, let's go.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
That's what's up. We got to play Escaping Extinction.
Yeah, we did.
Which is a super cute game.
It is.
It was so fun. We had such a good time playing it.
It's a game we did a playthrough for a company that's under Spin Master Games, kind of like their family division.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, cool.
And Escaping Extinction is a game about dinosaurs back in dinosaur times. We see the comet is coming, and rather than just getting hit and rocked, they're like building a rocket to escape. So you're doing this by going out onto the map, which is all these flipped down tiles. And you're kind of discovering, where certain resources are. You're trying to find these rocket parts. You have Dr. Vila C. Raptor.
Vila C. Raptor, yep.
Who's giving you saying like, oh, I think it's like in this waterfall or something. So you're trying to find that location, get to it, sometimes turn in certain resources or do a thing to acquire that rocket part. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, every round, the meteor is kind of moving closer and closer. And then there's these points in the game where there will be these earthquakes. And then everything that has been discovered gets flipped face down and shuffled around. Yeah. So basically what is where moves. You have to kind of rediscover things. And it's a light game. Every player has every dinosaur has a little bit of power,
which is nice. Yeah.
And you're going around and moving, interacting with stuff, gathering resources, finding these rocket parts, trying to escape before the meteor hits.
It was fun.
It's a great.
We had a good time. It's fun because like the board keeps resetting whenever there's an earthquake. So there's a lot of like interesting strategy around that. I really liked it. Like when we were kind of like learning it, I was like, oh, this will be cute, but that'll probably be it. And I actually enjoyed it more than I was kind of expecting to.
Yeah. It's one that I'm going to hang on to for sure because I'm like, oh, I can play that with Logan someday. For sure. And she likes dinosaurs and
it's
stuff,
just like the theming is cool. I like it's kind of like First Rat, where I like the idea of like, it's very cute. This thing happened, but they're just going to make a rocket and leave. I just think it's hilarious. Yeah. I thought it was really fun. It was cool. And we had a really good time playing it.
Yep.
Yeah. Velo C Raptor.
Yeah, the rocket's just made out of tree parts, basically.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm not going to review this really because me and Jimmy played El Paso. Someone mentioned El Paso in the chat earlier. We played the Great Western Trail El Paso. This is like my first Great Western Trail. It's a much pared down, much more streamlined, much easier and simpler version of Great Western Trail.
Sure.
But here's the thing. Me and Jimmy played it wrong. So we did not enjoy it, and we now know what we did wrong. And in my opinion, the rules are not super clear about this, and that's why we messed it up. So basically, in this game, you're still doing a Great Western Trail stuff where you're getting cattle. You're going, in this case, up to El Paso, turning in those unique cattle. And there's just certain things that are a lot simplified and streamlined, but it's very Great Western Trail-y.
Big time.
You're getting buildings. You're putting those buildings out. You're the person who owns those buildings. You're doing auxiliary actions. It's a really this is very Great Western Trail just pared down. So the main thing is, one of the main differences is when you're getting employees to do your cowboys, your engineers, your conductors and stuff. In the original one, you get the employee tile, so you just always have that many cowboys unless you, again, get rid of them for a station or something like that. In this case, you're getting cards. And when you use those cards to get cows, get whatever, do the things, you then have to discard them. The way that we, for some reason, read that was that you discard them back to, like, the supply.
That's the problem with the term discard is, like,
yes.
it can be used in different ways. It should
specifically say discard to your discard pile.
Yeah.
Which it doesn't say. It just says discard them. And so for some reason, when I was reading the rules and then teaching it, I was like, oh, you then have to get rid of them. I don't know why I thought that, but that's how I thought. So we just kept getting rid of these cards, and we were like, this game is impossible, because once you get like 4 cowboys to then get the big cow, you then have to get rid of all of them, and you have to keep starting from scratch, and it's super not a long game. So we really didn't like it. Now, the thing is, turns out we played that wrong. They just go to your discard pile, and then when they come through your hand, you put them out on the board, and then once you use them, then they go away again back to your own discard pile. And they keep cycling through, which makes way more sense.
Right.
So I'm going to, next time I play this for real, it'll be back in the new category. I'll give it a full review, because as of right now, I don't like it, but I also played it wrong. So
it's probably better played by the rules.
Yes.
I enjoy the game.
Yes, indeed.
And I played by the rules, and it is more enjoyable that way, can confirm.
The rules are not well written. That part of the rules are not well written, and it needs to be way more clear that they go to your... It's kind of like Great Western Trail New Zealand, if you've played that one. It has a similar situation where there's cards that you play, but then they go back to your discard pile and come back through that aren't like cattle cards. And this has that, which is cool, because I really like that, but it's really not clear in the rule book, and so we just kept getting rid of them and couldn't do anything. And so I didn't like the game at all, but again, I need to play it again because I think I will enjoy it once I play it correctly. So that is my non-review of El Paso. Sorry about that, y'all. And again, my kid played it, but he played it on BGA, where you're forced to play by the rules.
Yeah, as Leia says, it's a very convenient thing that PGA does, is it makes you play correctly.
Yeah, Nick can't quite give it an El Paso. Now, Barry, by the way.
It's May. It's near.
We have a 4th player for our game Wild House. Super hyped. Super hyped.
Can't wait.
I got to play Horizons of Spirit Island. Again, it's another game that I played with Jimmy. We had just finished up our game of Dead Reckoning. We're like, let's play something light. And so we played Spirit Island. So Horizons of Spirit Island, this is like the... I would say gateway. It's not really. It's a slightly less complicated version of Spirit Island in terms of like the spirits aren't super complicated. But it's still Spirit Island, where you are spirits on an island and you are trying to protect your friends, the Dahan, who are the native people who live there, from invaders coming in. I really enjoy it because I enjoy seeing the other side of that coin. Usually you're the invaders in board games. It's fun to be like, no, you're trying to repel the invaders as the spirits. I think it's really, really cool. And so this is just Spirit Island. It's not really much different, at all different. And you just have like 5 new spirits, and they were really fun. We played it again, and I was just like, oh man, that's right. I think I need to start playing Spirit Island more, because I think Spirit Island could be like a top 20 plus game for me.
Good.
It's so good. Upon playing it, and I'm just like, oh, that's right. This is why this is so many people's favorite game, or this is a lifestyle game for some people, because it's so interesting. All the spirits and the fact that you have to play them also differently, and you have to like really learn how to play them and stuff. I just think it's so fun. Everything in the game is kind of telegraphed, where like you know where the invaders are going to come in, you know where they're going to build, you know where they're going to ravage, and so it's all like, I really enjoy games that are telegraphed like that, because then it just becomes a puzzle of how to do that.
How do I prepare for this?
It's one of the reasons why I like Slay the Spire so much, right? It's just like, you know what's going to happen. It's one of the reasons why, if you like board game style games, check out a video game called Into the Breach. It's so much fun, because again, it's a similar thing where it's all telegraphed and you just have to figure out the puzzle of how to do it best.
Bad at that game, dude.
I
need to play again.
A lot of work. But rip to the publishers and degrade them games. They still have some of the staff on, but
so they're under Flat River Group. So my guess is that Spirit Island will not go away.
Yeah.
It might. I don't think
it will
just go under Flat River Group or whatever, but either way, a lot of people lost their jobs, which is super sad and obviously completely avoidable. So
yeah, crazy bummer. But nonetheless, this was great. It's Spirit Island. Check it out, because the new spirits are cool.
And it's fully compatible with all the other stuff. So
it is indeed. Nice.
Played a game called Leaders.
What is
this? Is a...
Oh, it's like a... I was like, what is it? It's like a...
It's a silhouette of like a king crown,
okay, cool.
So, you know. So Leaders is a abstract strategy game. I liken it to War Chest, sort of, where you have your leader. You start off with one chip on the board. And on each turn, you can move all of your pieces, so you only start with one. And then for the first 5 turns of the game, you will recruit another character kind of to assist you. And each of these characters have different like abilities and rules. So like one of them, it's like when you move, you just move to one adjacent circle. But you might have this character that can move 2 in a straight line. And it starts getting wacky where it's like, I have a character right now where they can, if they're in a straight line and can see, there's nothing in front of it, an opposing player, they can just swap spaces. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to get 2 of your characters adjacent to your opponent's leader to like capture them.
I see.
Or get their leader completely surrounded with their own pieces and stuff so they can't move.
Right.
So it's kind of chess-ish. And I really enjoy it. It's very cool. It's very much just abstract strategy stuff, but it becomes a cool spatial puzzle with like, oh, this person has this ability. They can like pull someone toward them. I'm gonna pull you toward me and stuff, and then get your, try to surround you and stuff, and make use of their abilities and or move while also protecting your leader because you don't want them to get surrounded or get them, adjacent to your opponent's pieces. It's very cool. But I enjoy that you're drafting the characters for the first several turns. So I see what you're drafting, what their ability is. Okay, let me try to counter that and get this piece and stuff. Really cool game. Cool. Really, really cool game.
Sweet. Awesome. Heck yeah. Let's go. We got to play the Magro Metro's Maps, the Volume 2. In this case, we have the video that's out has been for the, what was it named? The Outback. The Outback Maps. These are Magro Metro maps. We've always liked Magro Metro. Me particularly, I feel like I've liked Magro Metro more than Mikey.
That is true.
That is true indeed. We've always been interested. We finally got the first map pack, which has like, I don't know, like 8 or something like maps in it and stuff like that because they're all double-sided. So we've been really interested because I like the concept of Magro Metro and the core mechanics are always the same where you're building out essentially like a subway, like a magnetic rail network. And the original one was like you're like in London and you're in like New York and stuff like that. And then they started being like, you're like a amusement park, you're on the moon. They start getting really wacky, and then each map kind of plays differently, but then also has the core mechanics. So they're doing a volume 2 now where there's 2 new maps. Or there might be more, but at least there's 2 maps that we're covering.
There's 6 or so. Yeah.
So it's the Outback and kind of like the Ghost Town. We'll talk about the Ghost Town next month because that video hasn't come out yet. But the Outback map is one where you are kind of building the map as you go, which was kind of interesting. You have to play the game. The problem with the map packs is like if it's your first time playing Magro Metro, they kind of force you to play the game differently.
Yes.
Because in the Outback map, if you watch that video, Jimmy was basically building all the stations. And the way you kind of build out the map is every time you build a station, you then get to put in the next map piece. And Jimmy just kind of blitzed that and was basically making it so he was building all the stations. And Mike and I literally couldn't catch him. And then once all the stations were built, then it kind of evened out a bit. But Jimmy, at that point, had such a lead that there kind of wasn't anything we could do. And now I'm like, if we're playing that one again, you can't let someone do that.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where it's like you really have to, it's a really aggressive map. And these 2 maps, at least that we're playing, are much more difficult than base Magro Metro. But they're also, this is the second map pack, so I think they're assuming you've played a decent amount of the Magro Metro.
Right.
But no, I really like Magro Metro a lot. It's now like digital as well. And like I'm really, really excited to play digitally because I think this is a game that I would definitely like just mess around with on my phone and stuff like that.
I played a couple games on the app recently, and it's awesome.
Yeah, Magro Metro.
I think it's pronounced Orapamine or
something mine.
Or
you told me about this game.
Yeah. This is a like logical deduction game.
This game freaks me out, man.
That is so awesome. And I like was playing with Linnea, and I was just like, dude, I don't think I'm smart enough for this. I'm like, I don't understand. I don't get it.
Right?
But it's so awesome.
Like ping and ping, ping, ping.
This is a game where in the standard game, if I was playing against you, I would make a little map where basically in this grid, there's these certain color shape pieces that are like gems and stuff. There's like red, blue, yellow, and white.
Yeah, on the cover there.
Yeah, kind of those things. And then as you're trying to do stuff, you can send out ultrasound waves to go from one of the spaces on one of the sides. So if I'm on the left side, the 3rd space down, they're lettered and numbered, so the 17 or whatever. you will send it out and basically see what the result is. And the result can be many things. It can come back as blue. And it's like, okay, so I shot it from this side over here and it came back as blue. Sometimes you put the thing in and it comes out a different spot, like down on the other side. And it's now, green or whatever. And you're like, wait. So if it's green, there's no green gems, but there is blue and yellow. So that means this thing went in, hit off a blue or a yellow, hit off a yellow or a blue, and then went out over here. And so based on like where things are coming out, what colors, there might be like, it's light, it's pink, and so it hit white and red. Okay. And stuff like that, you can start to figure out where these gems are located. It is so, like, again, as I was first playing, I was just like, I don't see what's happening here. And then eventually I started figuring it out, and now I get it, and it's so cool, man. Yeah. It's so interesting, so unique, where it's like, okay, did that? It's like, oh yeah, it came out lemon. Like, okay, so it's yellow and white. Or if it hits off 3 things, I think it comes out as black or whatever. And then there's like, I haven't played with these, but there's like, I think you can add in diamonds, so like more pieces and like another kind, like black or something, to like even up the level from there. It's super interesting. It's super cool. I would love to pick this up physically and have it be where it's like each of us in a 2-player game or whatever. You're making a map, right? You're making a map, and I'm trying to guess what you have in yours, and you're guessing what you have on mine, and you're kind of playing simultaneously. Nice. On Board Game Arena, you can actually solo it because it'll just like generate a puzzle for you to figure out. Or if you're playing multiplayer, it'll generate a puzzle. You're trying to be the first one to solve it, essentially. Yeah. So it works great on BGA. Yeah. It is so interesting. It's such a unique. Yeah, this is what I think I want to try solo on BGA for sure. Yeah. Like, I would love to be like, okay. I was just literally like, I don't think my brain is big enough. I don't have it. And now I get it, because it's like, okay, if it comes on the side here, but exits somewhere else, well, it hit an angle. Yes. So, okay, I can at least put an angle piece in here, and I can figure out the rest later. So I started to figure out how to visualize stuff. Yeah. Weird. It's really neat. It's really neat, very unique. Yeah, right. People are, how do you think crap like that? I have no idea, dude. You play Pergola? Pergola. Pergola. Okay. Pergola is I played this with Karen. Yeah. She's really into gardening and stuff and has transformed our backyard completely. She really has, yeah. And so I was like, oh, dude, Pergola. Yeah, man, it's going to be great. Someone made her a planter. You did, and that thing is thriving, man. It really thriving. Pergola is a kind of a set collection component drafting game where each turn you're going to have these 4 kind of tools, like trowels and hoes and stuff, and they have on them certain components, whether it be different types of plants, maybe some insects and things like that. And when you take a tool, you'll get all the components that are listed on that tool. And there are different types of flowers. There's like hollyhocks and buttercups and stuff like that. And each of them have kind of different ways that they score. So like the hollyhocks come in blue, red, and yellow. And you want to create complete sets of the 3 colors, ideally, because that'll be the most points you get. And then each plant type also kind of attracts a certain type of insect. So the hollyhocks there attract butterflies. The buttercups can attract bees, can start helping you produce honey. Princess Buttercup. The magnolias attract ladybugs and stuff. So each of these plant types kind of score in different ways. The insects that you get also score in different ways. So you are kind of, as you're taking these actions, trying to build out your kind of garden with these types of plants and stuff and attract as many insects as possible to have a thriving garden. It's very cool. There's a couple touches that I really like. It's a very light game. Right. But one thing that's kind of cool is like you have your kind of main board that is your garden, and there's not set places where your plants have to go. And so it has a very beautiful kind of art backdrop. Yeah. And so what you kind of do is you kind of create this picture as you go. Because I can start my hollyhocks over here, and I can put, my buttercups over here on this little hanging thing. And you have like a birdhouse where you just stack these things, and it's a tree. You can put it in a tree, and you get lanterns. You can put those in the tree. It just kind of makes a very beautiful picture, and it doesn't say you have to put these here. Right. So you can kind of like have some artistic flair with it. But it's ultimately, you're trying to get components when you take a tool, there's 4 actions, and wherever you take the tool from, that'll be the action you do, and they're kind of simple to allow you to track more insects and various things. It's a nice game. It's a very nice, like, end of the evening game. You know, I knew it'd have high appeal because of, you know, Karen's kind of main hobby is gardening and stuff.
Yeah, right.
And it worked out. It was very cool. Very pretty. Very beautiful.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah,
it's by the same people who made Meadow, so if that's any kind of... the Ocelot's Cave?
Sir Ocelot's Cave. This is one that I heard from Paul and Matthew.
Look out, Spiel. Oh, yeah.
And that I was curious about it, so I invited Linnea to a game, and we played it. This is a game where you are collecting, I think, gems, right? And you're doing this by putting your pieces, or not your pieces, but tokens out onto the kind of the outside of the general board area that is populated with various things you can collect. And the tokens will be like a lantern, a pickaxe, a backpack, and various things. And what you're doing is you're placing these pieces, and they basically pertain to like a row or column. They're kind of on these diagonals. And once you have 3 different things, like the you know, those 3 items I mentioned, all pointing to one thing, like there's 3 things seeing that, then you can collect that thing. But those tokens stay there and can help your opponent when they place stuff. Yeah. And so it's a very much a very spatial puzzle. And then you kind of have like a special piece that goes into the area that kind of can be a wild, essentially me looking for stuff. And you're trying to collect all these gems. It was an interesting spatial puzzle. I really enjoyed it, but it was at first difficult because I'm like, because it's on a diagonal instead of simply rows and columns, because again, you need 3 things to see something. You need them to be different items. I was just like, man, how do I line this up? And then you start to see how things go. And as there's more and more tokens, you're like, oh, I only need this one thing to be able to see this over here. Okay, I'll put this lantern down. Or maybe I can do something that'll collect a couple pieces at once. It was interesting. I'd like to play it, I think, in person. I think it'd be easier to kind of visualize what you're doing. But it's a very cool. You have to be able to visualize like where things are going to go and intersect, and it was tough. Like Linnea says, like that kind of abstract is a struggle for me. Yeah, it's one where like it's like, oh man, this is like a decently difficult puzzle to try to like see. I'm like, am I doing this right?
Right. Yeah.
But it was cool. It was neat.
Like Tower Up.
Tower Up. Power up. I did. This is, again, what I heard Matthew mention, and I just looked into it and played it on BGA, and it is it's an interesting game. I don't know, you know, if I ever need to own it or anything like that. It's fairly light, but it's a game where you are gaining these cards, and you can play a card to get these various components, these colors of, I think it's brown, white, black, and gray, that are like building pieces. And so you can either play a card and get those components, or you can, on a turn, play components out onto the board. And the way it works is there's basically all these different plots where buildings will be built. And if I'm starting on a new plot, any of the connected spaces to that, if I had like a white building and a black building that were connected to this, I have to play either gray or brown. It has to be a different color building. You can't ever have 2 that are adjacent next to each other. And the way it's going to work is to be able to play this plot, I need to be able to play the one piece down, and then any connected buildings that have already been started, I need to add to. So again, using that example, I would need to have a brown piece and then a white and a black to be able to play them all down. And then you have a kind of a marker that you're going to put onto one of those buildings. You can put it on the one you just started. You can put it on one of the ones that's been going on. And ideally, those markers will be as high up as possible on buildings. And you're kind of doing these things to progress down these tracks. There are kind of community goals to go for, where it's like be in all 5 kind of districts of the board and various stuff like that. But it's an interesting cadence, fairly quick, of like getting some components, spending them, playing them out, the spatial puzzle of like, oh, I need this piece because that's actually connected over here. was cool, and I'd play it again, but it's probably not gonna go out and get it and own it.
Yeah.
But I don't have to because it's on BGA. So
boom, easy. We played. This is the Tricarion expansion, the Arcane Arts expansion. Yeah. We played Tricarion. We actually streamed a game of Tricarion, but then we also got to play the Arcane Arts expansion.
Yep.
For Mind Clash Games. We really liked Tricarion. That was, I believe, picked by our patrons. So we got a chance to play it, and then they hit us up. They're like, "Hey, we're about to do the 10th anniversary, and we're gonna have an expansion. If you guys want to play it," and we're like, "Absolutely."
Yeah.
So we got to play the Arcane Arts. So Tricarion is a game where you are all illusionists. You're all magicians. And you are getting various tricks, like the linking rings and all this kind of stuff. And you are essentially getting these tricks, getting various assistants to help you out go around town. But then ultimately putting these tricks on performance. You're basically doing performances on various days of the week, and that's how you're going to get a lot of your fame, which is your points in the game. So the thing is you are illusionists. You are magicians. None of this is real, right? So the Arcane Arts kind of breaks that, where now there actually is some arcane stuff going on. And there's basically now an arcane kind of cart, like a traveling cart, Stardew style.
Kind of.
Which I think is, I'm always blocking you, but another Stardew there. Kind of traveling cart, Stardew style that would kind of be moving around to the various locations of the board. So if you go to that location, you can either do the location on the board, or you can engage with the kind of Arcane Arts traveling cart. And that is basically going to do a couple different things. You can get kind of more assistance, but those assistants will be kind of magical and do some kind of very cool things. You can get these special ingredients, these kind of potent enhancements that you can put onto tricks that make them score or give you some kind of bonus. They also kind of take the place of various kind of the ingredients, the resource that you need to make these tricks. A lot of really cool stuff. It's ultimately not a huge expansion in terms of it doesn't add a ton to it. But it does kind of mix things up where you're like, oh, now I want to go do this. I kind of want to manipulate this in this way. But it's still just Tricarion otherwise. And Tricarion's really, really fun otherwise. I really like it a lot. It's one of those games that I do want to keep playing more because it's just a big puzzle. And I've heard good things about the big expansion that came in the collector's edition, the Dalgard's Academy.
I really want to play that expansion.
Alder, I'm not sure why you can't send a super chat, but I appreciate you trying.
Appreciate the thought. That's very kind, yeah.
But nonetheless, yeah, it was good. The expansion was good, and Tricarion is good. And so I think it's a worthy addition. And yeah, so good stuff. Love some Tricarion.
And no, we haven't ever played Ilamat. Would recommend? Maybe?
Why is this in there? Oh, this is old stuff. I see. So that was the end of the new stuff. I was like, what is this?
Because Jimmy did this.
This is we were going to use this for top 10 games you can play forever. Jimmy made this old version of it.
Look at where we're headed, guys. Look at where we're headed.
We're headed to both look exactly like our father.
Basically there already.
Yeah.
I look like Nick on here.
Yes.
Nick will eventually look like that, and I'll be dead.
Yeah, I'll be dead. Exactly. But nonetheless, so we're gonna go through our old stuff. So what we do is we do 2-second reviews of all the old stuff. We just talk about them very, very, very quickly. If we want to talk about something, we'll stop. After this, we'll do a Q&A. So if anyone has questions, feel free to put them in chat.
Come through.
And we'll do it. So let's go ahead and go for the divisive part of this video, which is us just quickly going through this all.
Everyone loves it.
So we love it so much.
Get ready. Get ready.
Oh.
Man, all our jokes. I love it so much.
One of the greatest games ever. It's
so
just such a good
dude.
deck builder. Arc Nova,
all-timer.
One of my favorite games. It's all-timer.
Blood Rage. Played it for the first time in quite a while. I did better than I've ever done before.
Really?
It's one of those, just to stop briefly, that when we first were playing it back in the day.
Yeah, did you not get it?
Didn't get it. Yeah. And now I'm like, oh, this is I didn't win, but I was just like, oh, this is not, again, the heavy, crazy thing anymore for me that it used to be. And so I enjoyed it more because I was like, okay, I can hang now. Didn't win, but I was in it, and that's something. So yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Wow.
It's on BGA.
Castle Burgundy Classic for a reason.
It's been on a heater with that one.
Coffee Rush.
Coffee Rush. Literally, we played it once at BGG Spring last year.
Yeah, so about a year ago.
Played it on BGA. I think it's an alpha, and I could not have understood less about what was happening. And I was like, I played this. I remember moving things around, but then I feel like 4 turns in, the game was over. I'm like, wait, what happened? I haven't even done, I think, a drink.
Going good. I don't even own a gun.
Yeah. So, but it's not my favorite game, but I am interested in the pieces are so good.
Cribbage, one of the greatest games ever made.
So much.
We didn't put Craft and Cosmos on here.
Oh.
be fair, we played Crafting Cosmos in Yosemite under the stars, and so we probably just forgot to log it after.
That's a heck of a way to play, and I didn't log it.
Crafting Cosmos underneath the Cosmos while we were in Yosemite.
It's a pretty good way to play.
Last week, and it was great. It was awesome.
Way to play.
Distilled,
amazing.
So one of my favorite games. It's so good. Graptosaurus Classic.
Love
Classic
it.
drafting
Love it so
game. You'll love
still
to see
love
it.
Far Away.
Good
Classic.
Game.
Still love
Killer.
it. Great
Still
game.
Love it. Peace Road.
On that.
You keep saying Classic with Classic. Easy. Five Tribes Classic. Cast Mandala.
It's just still underrated.
Fort Northwood. I love this game. I played it. I sold it a couple more times.
Yeah.
Fort Northwood's a solo trick-taking game. It's great.
It's really solid. It works really well.
It's great.
Yeah.
Four Shuffle.
Then on back on my BS.
Oh, yeah?
Go Oblivion.
You've been playing this too every month.
Been dominating. It's a fun little deck builder.
Harmony's a great
Harmonies. I'm in a tournament. I keep losing badly.
Hey, that's my fish.
I'm not as good as that game as I remember.
Okay.
I was like, I thought he's like, I can hang with this game. I'm like, I'm pretty bad at it, but it's very fun. Still like, hey, that's my fish.
I played Ironwood with Jimmy.
That's right.
It was. Ironwood's interesting. It's a two-player. It's very in-your-face confrontational stuff, and this game was particularly frustrating, where I was the Woodwalkers, and it was just like a thing where like I just could not get anything going.
Sure.
And like it was a particularly frustrating game of this. That I think with more plays and you learning the decks and all that kind of stuff, I feel like you'd be able to manipulate it better. But this has a solo mode where I really want to try, because I feel like if I'm just playing against the game, the frustrating aspects wouldn't frustrate me as much
I think solo
as
might
if
be
I'm
the
playing
way.
another person.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I do like the concept of the game. But yeah, I had a particularly frustrating game of this at one of our game days with Jimmy.
Yeah.
Just one. It's party games.
It's
Good
great
stuff.
party games. Fantastic.
Lahav taught Jimmy this.
Lahav.
So good. It's so
love that
good.
game.
Let's go to Japan. This was, I think, of all the games we played in my game days with Jimmy, I think this was his favorite. I really like Let's Go to Japan.
It's really fantastic.
It's so much fun. It's just, I don't know, it's one of those things. Lost Your Art Classic.
You already know.
Can't wait for that to out.
Fantastic.
Lucky Numbers. We've played it a couple times.
That's so good. I've gotten okay.
Mesos, you know?
Mesos, yeah, it's on BGA now. Played that a couple times. Middle Ages, still enjoying that one. My Shelby Dice game's on BGA. I like it for what it is. Probably My Shelby's better. Obsession, I'm obsessed still. Odin, such a great card game. I gotta find it physically.
Yeah, we do got it. It's good. I really want to get it.
I have not seen it anywhere. I know it's around, but I haven't seen it.
Pick and fall running.
Really good. I'm really bad at it.
Fair.
Still really bad at it.
Parks.
Parks, really fun. The second edition is really solid. Patchwork is still great. I just keep losing.
Yep. Pirates of Maracaibo.
Pirates of Maracaibo. I'm playing a bunch of games. I keep winning that one.
Yeah, you're always playing Pirates of Maracaibo.
Yeah. Res Arcana, always on that. Still 50-50. I'm okay at it. Revive, been playing a bunch of games of that.
You have been, yeah.
It's so much easier to play on BGA because you don't have to do the setup.
Yeah.
But it's a fun one. Yeah, it's really enjoyable. And I don't know if on BGA, because I know that.
Is everything unlocked basically?
I don't know.
My guess is no. That's my assumption.
I don't feel like it, and I feel like you can toggle on the expansion maybe, which I don't know what that provides.
Yeah.
But I think I'm ready for that if it's available on BGA.
Okay. River Gold, great game.
Great game.
Great game.
Fantastic.
Easy, great game. Easy, great game.
Rumble Nation, that's on BGA now as well.
I thought you hadn't played this before.
No, I played it at the Corey's Retreat last year.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You had left by that point. But
yeah. So I also played it at Corey's Retreat.
Rumble Nation's an awesome, super simple game where you're basically populating this map with your troops, and the regions are numbered 2 through 12, and you're rolling 3 dice. 2 dice must be used to choose a region, so a 2 and a 5 would put you in the 7. And then the third die, if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 or 6, will allow you to put 1, 2, or 3 troops into that region. And then when you go to resolve it, you go 2 and then up through 12, and the regions are worth their value. So 2 is worth 2 points, 12 is worth 12. And if you win the 2, you basically spread out to adjacent regions where you have people. And you can add units you didn't have, these kind of neutral units. And so you kind of keep spreading out.
And
so
you can manipulate who controls what region as the regions score.
Yes.
Which is really
it's really fun to try to do a such situation where once this scores, I'm going to win it. It's going to cascade to these other areas.
And I'll win this one,
It's very cool.
All
very quick and light, but it's got a really interesting, that whole resolution, which is the end game. It's really
cool.
neat.
Really cool game. Sagani, you be playing it. Church VIPs, great. Sold it at home. It's one of my favorite series of games, if not my favorite series of games. I still never played Tranquility.
It's good.
We got
it's
it.
Good.
You love it. You love it. We got
if Tranquility Ascent is on here, Tranquility Ascent is better. Verdant. I really like this game.
I like it too. I think I like it the most of the Calico, Cascadia, Verdant, and yes, the one I play by far the least.
Yeah, it's a really.
And I don't know why.
It hits a nice level between difficulty-wise between Cascadia and Calico. I think Verdant's a really nice sweet spot.
Welcome to the moon.
Dude, I'm so bad at it.
But so you know any idea what you're doing anymore?
No, I mean sort of, but I just don't. It doesn't turn into points ever, and I don't know why.
How many games did you play this month of White Castle?
Stand by.
Mike plays.
Who's even counting? BG stats.
So much White Castle. It's astonishing. It's astonishing.
Stand by. Hold on.
Let's see how many Mike played in April.
20 games. Just 20.
Mike played 20 games of the White Castle.
Barely 20.
And you're still enjoying it, huh?
That's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
And then Zenith, you've always played. You've played a bunch of Zenith as well.
I really like
Constantly
that
playing
game. I want that game
Zenith.
to come out.
That is it. Yeah, me too, right? That is it. All right, so that's all the games we have played before. Yeah, so it was a good month. Not our most prolific month, but overall just fine. Yeah, April was a wild month, y'all. So like it was, we out here. We're doing the thing. So I'll scroll back through and see if there's any questions missed, but feel free to pop questions in
Jimmy was
the live
asking,
chat.
that's Atlas's Jimmy, where was White Castle Mike's top 100, like of all time?
Oh, I think it's going to be higher this time, whatever it is. I got to assume. If you go to our Google Sheets, you should be able to find it.
let me try to look that up.
Yeah, pop some questions in chat if you got them. How can I get you guys to check out my card/miniature game? Email us. We're at thebrothersmurph@gmail.com. Email us and we can talk. But that is the way to do it. I can't find Northwood anywhere for a reasonable price. I don't know. Maybe it's out of print. But if you can get a hold of it, it's a great solo trick-taking game, which sounds like an oxymoron, but it's very great. I would love to see a cat board cat game video for you guys. Lauren, what do you mean by do you mean like just a game about cats? Can you clarify what you mean by that? I do be loving cats.
I am searching White Castle.
What board game shop do you guys go to most frequently? I go to games of Berkeley and Dr. Comets and Mr. Games. Whereabouts in the U.S. are you?
Where's Berkeley? I'm guessing Bay Area.
That's my guess, too. Where we go to the most is a place called Big Brother Comics, which is a comic/board game store that is in Midtown, which is right next to downtown in Sacramento. There's Great Escape Games here, which is a pretty good store. There's the Game Castle, which is also a good store.
There's like a really big Game Castle in the Bay Area somewhere.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
The Greater Bay Area.
Oh, okay, cool.
There's like a big.
But yeah, our number one is
Big Brother Comics.
Big Brother Comics. They have the board game area is not like super big, but it's like packed full, and they always have really good games there. Yeah. And it's just like in Midtown, which is a cool part of town, and so that's usually where we go.
Yes, and to answer Jimmy's question, the White Castle, as of last year's top 100 games, was 22.
Oh wow, that high. Okay, well then it might be around the same area, maybe a little higher. I for some reason thought it was like in your upper top 100 because it was newer.
Sure. Yeah, I really like that game a lot. So yeah.
Turn-based correspondence games, mostly or real time. Mike, you always play turn-based.
Turn-based.
Yeah, nothing real time. Which is why I don't play BGA ever, because I don't like playing turn-based.
Yeah, I like playing turn-based, and it's like literally the only way I can reliably play board games on the regular basis is by doing async on BGA. So that's the way for me, because that's like literally this past month in particular, there was a couple games I played with Karen and stuff and all that jazz, but there wasn't a ton of recreational gaming because it was a busy month for travel and stuff. We traveled twice this month, and
you did. Yeah, exactly. You guys enable super chat? Our super chats should be enabled. I don't know what if it's not. I'm not sure why it's not. We don't ever toggle that on or off.
This setting.
So,
thank you for keeping on trying.
But yeah, I appreciate that. I'm not sure. If you can't super chat, don't worry about it. We appreciate you trying.
But, we don't know why it's not allowing for it.
Yeah, I have no idea why it is not working, but it seems not to be working. So, boom. Yeah. So
Jabble Dabble Do has a question, probably for me.
I guess.
How do you decide what to play on BGA? I never seem to be able to find anything. Love Revive and had no idea it was on BGA. I just obsessively check.
Yeah, that's some real talk.
What's new in beta? What's new in alpha?
Yeah. I'm just on it all the time. That's the thing. You just kind of see these things, right?
Yeah, this week I've actually been pretty slow on BGA. So
I'm in the same
apologies
boat.
for people I'm in games with, but
I never know. Andrew said, I have a bad obsession of funding too many games on Kickstarter. Of your knowledge, should we still fund games on Kickstarter with all the tariffs? Are they going to ask for more money after you fund? We can't answer that second question because we don't know. I would hope not, but they also might not. It's tough right now, right? I would say any Kickstarters that are going live now, they've at least kind of known about the tariffs. The ones that I feel bad for the ones that came out like 6 months ago, and they're now having to deal with this.
Because like when they launched,
they weren't able to prepare for it, right?
When they put in their order, all these things, the world was obviously a vastly different place.
Yes.
Hey, there's a super chat. I don't know why it worked now, but thank you for that.
Who knows? Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Yeah.
So we can't. Here's the thing.
We don't know.
My hope, being an eternal optimist with that, we don't obviously have any answers. No one does.
No, we sure don't.
My hope is that anything launching now, typical timeline on a Kickstarter, let's say, is 18 months, right?
Right.
It's a while.
If it's a big one, particularly.
I feel like the current situation can't last forever because the world might implode if it does.
Right.
And so my hope is that anything launching now
will be solved.
By the time it's producing, will be the other way where it is solved or better.
Yeah.
That's obviously not a guarantee. Your money is valuable. You have to make those decisions for yourself. Sometimes they might ask for more money. A lot of people, what they've been doing, North Star Games recently said like, hey, we're going to create this like small mini expansion. It's going to be our way of kind of helping offset the cost. If you want it, at least we're going to try to provide you some content. Or they do a tip jar. It's like, hey, if you can help out, cool. But you have to make those decisions for yourself. And I'd say, like, just know that in general, like, that might happen because the world has been a topsy-turvy place for the last 5 years. And there's
with COVID and stuff.
A lot of things where we are going into a thing with a certain expectation and things vastly change. So I'd say, just know that's always a possibility. Publishers, certainly, like, one thing to note, they will do anything they can to not charge you more.
Yeah, they want to.
And so this is a time where, in general, it's like I would love to see us all be patient with publishers because they're dealing with very difficult situations. If there's a situation where they're saying, hey, we really need extra money for this shipping, they're probably at a point now where they're no longer making any money on this game. They're just trying to do anything they can to stay afloat to get it out to you. And let's have some patience with that.
Yeah, because that's what happened during COVID with all the shipping crisis stuff. It's like a normal container would be like $2,000 to $3,000 to have the entire container. It went up to like $25,000.
Yeah.
We're talking about
more than 10
times increase. So if you needed 10 containers, instead of it being 20 grand, it was then $200,000 or not, whatever it is. Basically it's like that's the kind of stuff. So it's like, and most publishers just ate that cost because they're like, well, it's not right for us to just pass it on to you for something you can't control. So again, as Mikey said, be patient with publishers, please. They are trying to figure this out as we all are.
Trying to navigate a really tough situation. And and so, but yeah, it's like with these days.
I don't know. Yeah, we can't really say.
Buyer beware. If stuff's in retail and it's in the store, that the tariffs have, it's already there, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, like it's really tough. And I feel for publishers a lot because, there's no big, like truly big, if you compare it to any other industry, there's no big board game publishers. A lot of the ones you're like, man, this is a big company and stuff. They might have like 5 full-time employees. So it's like everyone's operating on pretty thin margins and stuff.
And it's small business. It's the same.
It's
like restaurants. They work on very small profit margins. That's how small businesses work.
So it's a tricky one.
Board Game Arden asks, have you guys played Heaven and Ale? I must know. Yes, we have. That's a game that I've almost bought a bunch of times. I really like Heaven and Ale, and I want to play it more. I love rondelles. Heaven and Ale is really, really good.
I saw Mary Lou Zen said, are we going to Gen Con? We are not going to Gen Con this year.
No, we're probably going to start going every other year, maybe. It's really expensive for us to go. And we don't really have much of a reason to go other than just wanting to go, which we do love to go. But so we're probably going to go every other year. We're generally trying to travel less, frankly.
Yeah. Moss Gather says, do you have any thoughts on the new Innovation Ultimate? I've played Innovation on, I don't know what version, on BGA. It wasn't my favorite thing. But I'd be curious with Innovation Ultimate, if they've cleaned up any of the graphic design stuff, it's a very ugly game.
It sure is.
And stuff like that. So, And Lauren's in Oakland, right on Bay Area. Shouts out.
Indeed. And Zen, if you're in SAC, let us know.
What? Dude, hit us up for sure. Save your sorry, Mike. The cups are on the way. No!
Order all. Email us, therosersmurf@gmail.com. So any interest in Battle Monsters? Yes, we have played and filmed a playthrough of Battle Monsters. And that will be coming out when the Kickstarter launches. Yeah.
Yep.
So hopefully launching next week, Restoration Games. Yep. Hopefully that's at least as far as we know the plan.
We have smashed buildings and things
so
with
we
our
will
Titans, and they're ready to go.
Review that next month because we have played it, but we don't do. I guess a little insight to how we work. We don't do the rapid reviews part of the thing until the videos come out. So even though we played it last month, we are not going to review it until the video comes out.
Yeah, we just want to keep that delineation between, hey, this is sponsored content where we certainly won't give you an opinion because that feels gross. So we wait until the video's out and everything before we talk about it, but we have played it, can confirm.
Can confirm indeed. The monsters are very large.
They are
They're very large.
As they should be. Like, this is...
It's Godzilla versus...
it's Godzilla. It's supposed to be big.
People have an ale. Hell and Ale is really, really good. It's
really very good, man. Really good. That was another one that when I first played it, I guess when it came out, this is probably 2018.
It's not a new game.
It broke my brain. It was so hard.
Broke a little bit of the brain.
The game is very tight resource-wise.
Yes.
But again, now it's like, oh, I understand how I can hang in with this one. It's a really cool game. Very unique. I'm still not good at it.
I love how Jon Snow said, thoughts on the Game of Thrones board game? Absolute top tier comment, by the way. Never played it.
Go back to the north with that. We haven't ever played it. Yeah, we haven't ever played it.
Dr. J, did you hear about SETI is doing an expansion? Yeah, we heard. I'm unreasonably hyped. I love SETI. SETI was our favorite game of last year.
Dude.
There's an expansion. It's exactly what I wanted. We were like, just give us more aliens. They're giving us 3 new aliens. There's also like seemingly asymmetric like corporations you're playing.
There's also a quick start where basically it skips the first round. I don't know what it does to get you up and running.
You're literally just
that's a great choice.
Checking the boxes.
That's a great choice. That's a great choice. I'm like, yes.
The main thing that I saw some people ask for, and I don't know if this is the expansion. I don't think it is. I would love more goals, end game goals. Because there's only like 8.
Like those ones that go on the board?
Yeah, the gold ones, yeah.
I'll bet they put a couple in.
That way you have more stuff like, I'm going to try and go for this kind of thing. And it looks like they're kind of revamping or changing up the scanning action, which is
boosting it up a little bit.
My only beef in the game is that the fact that the scanning action doesn't scale for player count, which seems insane to me.
Weird.
How that didn't come up ever.
Especially because, like, so there's these sectors you have to fill in with these, like, with your markers. And I'm like, and again, Jimmy's the designer here, but there's like, it needs 5 or 6 or 3. They're different, but I'm like, use a neutral color and put like 2 in that just stay in, so it makes it smaller.
Yeah, it should be.
It's super bizarre that's not in there.
So
I'm
weird
like, that seems like a typical scaling thing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, yeah, but nonetheless, yes.
The Harris Living,
we're
going vertical.
There is an expansion. It seems very cool. Bananas were red. Would you eat them? Yeah, I love bananas.
God. Here's the thing. Would I have knowledge of them originally being yellow?
I assumed that they were always just red.
Some bananas are red, though.
Yeah, but those are like, I guess, yeah, you're right. Yeah, so yes. The answer is yes, ultimately. But
it did make me go,
Lauren said, I'm not sure if this is a weird question. This is a weird one.
No weird questions.
So, there's a weird question. This is not one of them, though. But would you guys ever do a planned game night on BJ or in person with fans? Potentially.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Sure. And Nick doesn't really play BGA, but I am the Brothers Murph on BGA.
You're playing the Brothers Murph, you're playing Mike specifically.
And you can always send an invite if you want to play something.
I mean, one thing that we do is on our Kickstarter, you can, one of the pledge levels is to play a game with us, and so that's like the most guaranteed way to do it. But yes, potentially. I'm not going to give any promises of when or
I just want to look as normal as possible.
I think you look great. I feel
like you're lying.
What happened to Big Mon Con? It's always in a flux of being planned, basically.
Yes.
That's what we're getting at. Although Jabs in chat was helping us out.
Yep.
Now, the state of the world, people don't have as much income, so we're kind of, per usual, in a state of, we want to do it in the future, as always.
Yeah.
Although I would say right now, it is going to be much, much, much easier in Sacramento than it was in LA.
Yes. So I think that the eventuality of it happening is now much more, in line, like it's happening. So just don't know the whens.
How's the videos going for the backers? Jess, it's one of the things that is on our schedule, so pretty good. We should be doing those very, very quickly here. So I would love, because making friends as an adult is hard. Making friends as an adult is super hard.
Board games is a great way to do that, though. If you can find a local, I know in Oakland there is, let me find the name of the group. Stand
in
by.
Oakland?
In Oakland.
I know Great Escape Games has a game out on Fridays.
Yes.
I know that. New look for Mike for sure. Time to update all your social media and headshots. Exactly. Just freaking boom. My hair is also, I put gel in it so it stood up. And it's hard to tell, but it's... I watched a video with me long hair the other day, and I was just like, we're going to add long hair.
There we go.
Your boy's been bald for a while now.
The Oaklandish Board Gamers. Is a group that's Bay Area focused, obviously, that do different events. I think they go to kind of like a brewery and play, because they always have like the long tables.
Yeah, breweries are great for game days.
Very chill to hang out.
Yeah.
I would check them out. It's run by a gal named Vera, and they're awesome. So I would definitely look into Oaklandish Board Gamers. Going to be super cool people.
Yes.
The vibe should be nice and easy and welcoming, and maybe that'll be a good way to get some regular players.
Yeah,
so I throw that out to you.
Ooh, what's the go-to order at Taco Bell? So I get the same thing to talk about every single time. My go-to used to be a bean burrito, no onions. Don't you dare put those freaking gross-ass raw onions in there. Onions are weird because, like...
Why?
Because cooked onions are one of the greatest things on the planet. Raw onions are one of the biggest abominations to ever live. So don't be putting
So maybe you're just specifically a yellow onion guy.
No, I want cooked onions.
Yeah, but yellow onions are the ones you cook. So maybe you're just a yellow onion
I'll cook all the onions.
Yeah,
I'm gonna. I want cooked onions. I don't want raw ass onions. Get out of here.
Fair enough.
So bean burrito, no onions specifically. And then I used to get 2 double-decker tacos, but they got rid of double-decker tacos and then brought them back for like 2 months and then got rid of them again. I was hoping it was gonna be a Mexican pizza situation where they just kept it, but they didn't because they hate me personally. So now I usually get a bean burrito or 2 with no onions and then a couple just normal soft tacos. It's a very boring one.
I change it up.
You do.
From time to time. But the go-to items are the chicken quesadilla and the 5-layer burrito. Those will usually be
you do be getting some chicken quesadillas.
Mixed in with maybe other things or whatever. But those are 2 that are like, one of those will probably be in the order.
Yeah.
Most likely.
Yeah. Kara said top 10 games that don't fit on any other list. Okay, so Kara, that is actually an idea that I think David Phillips originally gave us, was like, we want to do a top 10 list of games that have never showed up on our top 10.
Yeah.
And we actually plan on doing that. And I thank you for reminding us, because I'd forgotten that we got that idea. But so I'm not going to answer that now, because we really need to think about it. Like, what's a game that would not show up on our top 10 list? Because it can't be super bad, because that would show up on like a top 10 bad games list. They have to be like mid games. It's going to be a weird list, but I actually really do want to do that one.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I missed a quesarito. Yeah. Sure. Chicken quesadilla supremacy. Ooh, Kitten Thief out here.
That's what's up. It's great, right? It's amazing.
Yeah.
Other hobbies besides board games. I love when hobbies cross over. I love anime, so I try to collect anime board games for my personal. Yeah, that's awesome.
Cool.
Nick's into woodworking. You're more of a hobby collector.
I collect hobbies.
My hobby is raising a daughter.
Yeah, you don't have many hobbies because your hobby is
being into her hobbies.
Yeah, your hobby is being a dad mostly.
But I mean, video games, I guess, for me. Like
the one, because that's one you can actually do, right?
Yeah.
Like you can be on your Steam Deck. Yeah, exactly.
Minimally.
But my main hobby right now is woodworking, and then also a bit of gardening is the 2 things that I've been doing. I'm basically in my garage. Anytime I'm home, I'm basically made up a whole bunch of half laps.
Yeah, I know what those are.
I'm building a workbench.
What that half lap do?
What the half lap do? It's kind of like a joint. It's a strong, robust joint that I'm making a workbench, and so I'm using half laps.
Cool.
But nonetheless, yes, that's mostly what I do. I've been collecting tools and
by slowly collecting kids' games. Yes, accurate.
Honestly, yeah, kind of. If you like Project L, love Project L. Love it.
So good.
I think it's my go-to gateway game, Project L. I think it's incredible.
Yeah.
So I went to let the dogs out and come back to Mike looking like he's been electrocuted. Yeah.
What are you talking about? I straightened it out. Now I'm going back up higher.
Now I'm going back up. Half-Life 2, is that like Half-Life 2? It's basically the exact same.
Basically the same physics engine.
It's basically.
I'm trying to think, do I have any hobbies?
I'm not gonna lie, Mikey, you don't really have any hobbies. I think you would like to have hobbies.
I would.
Is there any
Pickleball.
Is there any world where you would have time for hobbies?
Not right now. No. Fair. I mean, board games. Like,
yeah.
And
here's the thing. Board games are still both of our main hobbies, I would say, because we still do play games a lot outside of work. We've worked really hard to maintain.
Yeah, playing BGA is my hobby. That kind of, yeah.
Kind of, yeah. Like, what's a hobby you would like to do if you were, like, once Logan's like, say she's like 6, 7, she's a little more autonomous. What's a hobby you would like to start?
Polish rocks.
I could polish rocks. That's fair. That's a good hobby.
I mean, it'd be really fun to get back into like hiking and like backpacking would be cool. That'd be really fun.
Oh yeah,
just to like Tahoe, just as Desolation Wilderness and stuff. That'd be really cool.
I want to go to the up to the cabin and then just go out to Desolation for a day or two and then come back to the cabin.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like camping is a hobby. Like
and that's what you guys can because you can do that with your family. So like you can participate in that one.
But that'd be cool to like do more of those
solo hobbies,
more of those adventure-y things. You know, another one that's maybe minimal or whatever, but I have in different points in history. Been like a really regular moviegoer.
Yes.
Like I would love to get back to, and this will be a later on in life thing, but like a Friday afternoon, finish work and I go see a movie.
Yeah.
I usually like to just go movies by myself. Yeah. It's fun just to chill. That would be really cool to get back into.
I would love that for you. Would love that for you.
But it's hard. It's hard schedule wise to do.
It's hard. Movies are long and you have to go to them and stuff like that. Yeah.
But that would be fantastic. Leatherworking, yes, I've taught leatherworking.
You did talk leatherworking. You know way more about leatherworking.
I could get into leatherworking. That'd be really fun.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
I follow some like leatherwork accounts.
Chaps, you know. Oh, let's go. Finally, I'd have a pair.
That'd be a dope hobby. Actually, I like that idea.
That'd be really cool. So Nick, do you ever sell your art? My wife just started and it's been going great. Hopefully full time soonish. Ooh, Dawson, send in if you're in our Discord or whatever. Send some of her art. I want to see it. No, I don't ever sell my art. I don't like to sell my art. Monetizing art makes me hate it. Specifically like drawing and stuff. I don't know any other kind of art. Like I might do like woodworking and stuff like that. But no, monetizing art makes me hate it. I like to just draw whatever I want to draw. I don't like to take commissions. So not really, no. I have sold some of it in the past. I've done like prints of some of my stuff.
Sure.
But I don't really have much interest in selling really at all, to be completely honest. But congrats to your wife. That's huge. And please let us see some of her art because I would love to see it. That's a huge, huge deal. I've been doing a crazy remodel for my in-laws, building a 200 square foot pantry into their garage. Cool. That's rad.
Nice. I'm jealous of that. Linnea says, reading's a great hobby. Yeah, I need to get back into reading and stop staring at my phone as much, to be honest.
Yeah, particularly nowadays, I
would like to get back
I read a lot in Yosemite, like on the car ride there and then like in the evening and stuff like that. And
it's so nice.
And I was just like, man, I really want to start reading again. What I need to do, and I know this is my own mental hang up about it, but it's like I can't read in bed. I don't like reading in bed because I just fall asleep. So like I need to make a reading space in my home.
Yeah.
Like I kind of want that red chair that you guys got me, but like I just have nowhere to put it. So it's like I want to make an active, like this is where I sit to read area in my home because I think I would read a lot more if I did that. And so I really, really need to do that. I just don't know where I can do that without getting rid of a couch. So I'm in this kind of weird spot where I don't really know how to do that, but I really, really need to find like a dedicated
Could you do the nook in your kitchen where like you never put
but I want to put a table there. I
still want to put a table there?
Yeah, I want to put a small table there. I don't like it being empty like that. And I don't want to be on the tile like that. So yeah, I really, really want to, but I don't have ton of space. Well, I have a lot of space in my house, but it's all kind of dedicated right now. I don't have a good spot.
But that might be good. Because like our friend Hannah, like I think she goes up into bed to do it, but she like hits a certain point in the year. She's like, all right, I'm going to read now.
Yeah, she goes read for like 2 hours. Yeah,
and like, dude, that is good. Like that is good for the brain. And
stuff. It's outstanding. Yeah. So my son's teacher has combined bird watching and playing Wingspan, a second grade class full of up and coming board gamers and birdists. Right?
That's awesome.
That's freaking cool. You make dice bag or dice towers? Yeah. Totally
good. So woodworking, do you love Woodcraft? Yes, we enjoy that one.
I do love Woodcraft. I love Woodcraft the game and the store. I was at Woodcraft last Sunday for a tool swap.
That's right, you were.
Because Woodcraft is a store. It's great.
Jabs, I've just started getting into Blueprints, and
I've downloaded. I have not played it yet.
I'm enjoying it, but I'm so bad at it. I just keep looping back into, and I've gotten like I can't get past like 7 or 8 rooms. Yeah, but it's very enjoyable. It's very cool. Still trying to learn what the heck is going on. I haven't played it yet,
but really excited. Then I'm ready to check my phone at the window. Honestly, Jenna, do it and just make Francis go get it. That's what I wrote.
I just leave it out there in the snow.
Yeah, no, why not? I assume it's snowing right now.
Let it go.
Because Canada isn't a real place.
Who wants these things?
Matthew Jude mentioned.
Hey.
So I'm late to the show, but Orapa Mine slaps. I was going to tell Nick about it on Tuesday. Yeah, let's go. Well, let's still talk about it on Tuesday. Dude. Here's the thing. I will try and solo it before we hang out on Tuesday to record This Game is Broken, and we'll talk about it.
Again, I talked about it earlier in this very video, but the first time I was playing that game, I think I had a mental breakdown because I was just like, I can't get it. I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
I keep thinking I know stuff, but I don't know that stuff. And then I figured it out, and it's very satisfying.
Yeah.
It's a very cool game.
Linnea said, the thing that helped me was just literally always carrying a book in my purse and just pulling it out whenever. If I try to plan ahead, I never feel like I have time. That's also fair. I used to be really good about that. Like, there was always a book in my car. I always put books in my back pocket, which is why I hate hardcovers. Also, y'all want to know my biggest pet peeve on the planet right now? Doesn't matter. When did we decide to start making paperbacks way bigger? Paperback books are just the size of hardcovers now.
Yeah, they're meant to be more portable.
Even if it's like the Way of the Kings, where the paperback is this thick, there is a standard size of a paperback book, and just recently, us as a society has decided to make them bigger, and I don't know why, and it drives me crazy because I like putting paperback books in my back pocket, and I can't anymore. I have to carry it like a peasant, and I hate that. And so, I don't know what happened, but we need to reverse the cycle of the planet right now to go back to paperback books being normal size. They're way more expensive now, too, because now that they're bigger, they charge like $5 more for them. I'm like, no, give me this size of book. It drives me crazy.
It's weird because I'm like, in theory, you're getting the paperback because you want
I don't want the hardcover
different than the hardcover. So making the same size or similar, but squishy. Like, that's not the part that we want to different. We want a different size book.
It drives me crazy. I'm like, it's huge. It's just the same size, and it's just more expensive. So I won't buy them. I will only actively seek out a place that sells it in the normal paperback size.
So Matthew says there's a flaw about the game with the physical version. They had to change the pieces. But I really like it. The BJ version is correct. What was wrong with it? Because I was going to buy it, but maybe I should wait until there's a new edition or something. What was wrong with it?
Yeah, I want the mass market paperbacks. It drives me crazy. Yeah. So paperbacks are bigger because now they are trophies. People read on a Kindle or whatever, but they want to look at the pretty covers. I also can't read digitally.
I guess,
because I never learned how to read. And so, it's my biggest pet peeve on the planet right now. I go to Barnes & Nobles, and I'm just like, they're all so big, and I don't want to read a giant book like this. I want to have a little book, and I want to crouch over it like a gremlin and be like,
yeah, and you like to manhandle your books.
I do. I'm very mean to my books. Good, they're books. I crack that bad boy open.
Yeah, I feel like you're like the kind that
I dog ear. I don't even use bookmark. I'm dog earing all day. You know what the funny thing is? So I'm a big rereader of books. I basically every book, like say I read 30 books a year or whatever. I don't read that many. I wish I did. 15 of those will be rereads. I really, really enjoy rereading books. So one of the reasons why I like dog earing is because I like to know where I stopped last time.
That's kind of fun.
Because sometimes I'm like, I stopped here last time I was reading this.
That's interesting.
And sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'll stop here again, and I'll dog ear. So I actually really like dog ears because it's like a weird timeline of me reading that book. Particularly if it's like Lord of the Rings, which I read every year. It's fun to see like all these random like crease marks from like various places that I dog eared it.
That's cool.
So I dog ear stuff. Y'all can at me in the comments all you freaking want. I'm a dog ear every damn book, unless it's someone else's book and they don't want me to. I'm a dog ear every one of my books.
So funny.
All the time. Love dog ear and stuff.
Can't do it.
Yeah, it drives me crazy. You don't want to feel like a hobbit reading a regular sized book? Yeah, it's like Bilbo reading like a normal. They come in pints. I'm getting
This
one.
is Ho. Stanley Yelnats is on some adventure again.
Oh my gosh, look at this. Yeah, no, hate it. Absolutely hate it so much. Won't even buy them. Refuse to. But yeah, if anyone's got any last questions, let us know. What's everyone reading right now? If you're reading
Jabs,
anything?
when does the new Dresden come out? It's called 12 Months. I have not followed the news.
What?
Let me look this up. Stand by.
Y'all, Dresden's so dark nowadays.
I know, but I think we're due for a...
This was the changes kind of situation?
Yes.
Although it didn't get much lighter after changes. I feel like it got just more of a bummer.
Yeah.
I wanted the library to card away. I don't have a library card. I like buying books. Even if I understand that a library is a great resource, I like buying books, and I like, even if it's not... Even if it just sits on my shelf for years and years and years, the book I'm currently reading right now is called The Dragonbones Chair, and I've had it for like 10 years, and I'm now finally reading it. So I'm a big blind buyer. I'm a big judge a book by its cover kind of buyer. I go, that's got a cool name. I'm gonna buy it, and I just buy them. So I don't have a library card, not because I'm against libraries. I love libraries. I just end up buying them.
When does this come out? Or is it out? This is installed.
Teddy, new book I think is supposed to come out in January Q1 of next year, I'm guessing.
Oh, that's so far away still.
Yes, what's everyone reading right now? Those dog-eared books. Don't be poor my books. My books are great.
Jay Butcher tweeted 5 minutes ago about it.
Yeah, I love seeing age and love on a book. Coral, I completely agree. I'm like, this has been read. You know it's been read.
He's editing it. Okay, it's okay. It's coming.
Oh, Matthew says you could buy the mind game right now, but you'd have to paint a couple of the pieces. Oh, here's the thing. Our games from our Kickstarter are on a boat right now, and I'm so terrified that there's going to be something like that. We're like, oh, this is now completely wrong, and we just have a bunch of copies of this game. That's got to be the worst feeling. I love digital books. Then I can take 1,000 choice me whenever I go. I can't read on screens. I just can't do it. I like books. I like physical books. I'm all for Kindle users. I just can't do it. When's your Kickstarter campaign going to happen? I also love buying books. Sometime this year. We're not entirely sure. We're trying to navigate the world right now, and we're not entirely sure.
I'd say the
late summer at the earliest.
Late summer, probably fall, September, October is most likely, but at some point this year, it will happen.
That is the plan.
Just gonna see what the hell happens first.
So I've been doing audiobooks exclusively because I fell asleep every time I read and never actually finish books. It's fair. I listen to a lot of audiobooks, but I only listen to nonfiction. I listen to a lot of science books.
I have listened to a couple books this year. That is true. Coral, the Sacramento Library has a great board game borrowing program.
It does.
In the Central Library in Midtown, there's quite a few games.
Yeah. It's a lot of
I need to go down there and look and try to rent some. Maybe I can do that with Logan this weekend.
Currently in the middle of Words of Radiance. The trade paperback. Sorry, it's all right. I've decided to not continue reading from my archive until it's. I'm not gonna say done because I think it's gonna be like 10 books, but until it's farther along. I've read the first 2 and really liked them, and I know there's 4 out now. But I'm gonna give it a bit. I hate reading series that aren't done. It drives me crazy because I'm really impatient when it comes to waiting for books. I'm down to wait for games, movies. For some reason, waiting for a book, I'm very, very much if there's a trilogy, the second I read the first one, I immediately start reading the second one, and I want to be able to read the whole thing basically in one go.
Matthew Jude says, a video where you go rent games in a library would be cool. I should absolutely do that because
you should.
Dude, the library, and this is true for a lot of libraries around, has so much more stuff than you think.
Yes.
There's the library, you can rent like
tools,
lawnmowers and stuff. And
cooking stuff. Yeah.
And Karen got seeds and is planting them and stuff, board games. So I think
I
will absolutely take you up on that idea because I think it would be really cool just to be like, check your library. There's probably cool stuff there. And it is so free. So free.
So incredibly free, yeah. So you guys are making an incredibly short notice change of plans to come to UKGE, right? God, Tiger, I'd love to.
I really want to go to UKGE sometime.
Me too.
I really want to make that happen. That will happen at some point. I believe. Gosh, it'd be nice because it's in June, right? June?
Yeah, it's soon. It's next month, right?
Man.
Yeah. But I'm like that too. I need to read an entire book series. I hate it was not finished. Yeah, the Dresden Files has been the bane of my existence because it's just been for like a decade plus now. We've just been waiting for these books to come out, And I'm just like, oh my gosh.
We got a ways to go.
I cannot stand it. It drives me crazy.
But that's why you just reread Dresden.
You just start back at the beginning.
Start again.
Yeah, when there's like 15 books, right? You have the chance. But it's like there's the 2 series that I'm like, wait, well, I guess 3 is the King Cruller Chronicles, which I have no faith will ever actually happen. I stopped reading Game of Thrones a long time ago because I hate it. So I don't really care about that one. I care for the other people who were waiting for that one, but I personally don't care. The Gentleman Bastard series, no idea when that 4th one's coming out. At this point, it's been a very long time. Stormlight Archive.
I did enjoy the first one of those.
And then Dresden. I think all the series that I've read some of and are not finished. It drives me crazy.
Rick says, sadly, only consuming books from Audible lately. I don't think that's sad at all.
That's not sad,
man,
yeah.
Audible has opened up reading, engaging in stories to so many people. I listen to stuff mostly on Audible.
So one of the main things I listen to on Audible, actually at this point, I would say I listen to more of these than I do books. I listen to college lecture series because they have like a bunch of the great courses series is on Audible. Some of them kind of don't work very well because they're more visually based. Like I listen to a couple art ones and they're like, look at these like brushstrokes. And I'm like, I'm listening to this. I can't see any of this because they're all video courses. But then they just take the audio and then put it on Audible.
That's cool.
But honestly, like I've listened to lecture series about tons of stuff.
Listen to about plants and seeds and all sorts of
like
stuff.
Linguistics, a whole bunch of different stuff. And they tend to be pretty long too, but mostly I listen to them about astronomy. I listen to one about the life and death of stars right now. So if you're an Audible user and you like nonfiction stuff, check out some of the great courses stuff because it's a great time to just be like, you can kind of just passively learn a little bit stuff. It's great.
Yeah. Kennedy says, Patrick Rothfuss, when I catch you.
Yeah, I have no faith.
Monica, I love you from Italy. You are the best. Thank you. All love to Italy, man. I love that.
I want to go back to Italy so bad.
That's a good place.
I love Italy. Monica, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
That's very kind. Coral says, I picked up Great Western Trail from SAC Library today, and now I can't rent it, so thanks.
Great Western Trail at the library? Let's go.
They have like size and stuff.
Bangers.
Jimmy took a video once, and I was like, "Whoa, it's actually a really
we
good
don't really
collection."
cull games anymore, but if we do, we should see if they would want them.
I don't know what the process would be, but I'm sure that we could submit.
I hated it with the Wheel of Time. Yeah, that one was tough because Robert Jordan died, right? But it's like
it's done now, though, right?
Yeah, because
shouts out to Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just like, I'll finish it in 6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah, basically. But yeah. I recently discovered you can listen to audiobooks on Spotify. Interesting. I don't use Spotify, but
I've heard
that is good to know.
Yeah.
So it said I love listening to those kinds of things. I use YouTube and I have premium, so I can listen off the screen on. Yeah, YouTube Premium I think is one of the few subscriptions worth it nowadays.
Yeah. Well, that's right. It's a good idea to listen to lecture series. Is that only on Audible? I imagine it's other places as well.
I mean, I know the Great Courses series, you can sign up for them through like their website and
then
stuff
you
like
get
that.
access to everything they have.
And there's probably other audiobook things that have it, but I just know that they're on Audible, and a lot of them are on Audible. And so yeah, I listen to more lecture series than probably anything else on Audible.
Coral says, talking about the SAC Library, I donate to them all the time. You just walk in and tell a librarian you have donations. Okay, that's good to know. It's easy.
Good to know if we have any games that we need to donate.
Yeah. Especially if we have duplicates of something, we might as well,
Yeah, right. No, especially if it's like
if we start running out of
game.
space.
Yeah, 100%. Have you guys played Sentinels? We have not.
No, like Sentinels of the Multiverse.
Yeah. So.
Tiger Map says, Matthew and I will be role-playing as our Brothers Murphy, UKG.
There you go.
We definitely won't be committing crimes and landing you guys in trouble.
Fair.
Well, hey, you know what? That's in trouble in the UK, and that's not trouble over here, baby.
I don't even believe that place exists.
Now, maybe we just can't fly back there for a while. And that's
good to know.
Yeah.
Commit all the crimes by name in other countries. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not us,
These Mike and Nick aren't even our real aliases, man.
That's right.
Our real names, all right?
It's
just personas we've created for you nerds.
Indeed.
I am Gerald in real life.
Gerald. All right, y'all, we're going to get on out of here. Thank you so much for being here with this Rapid Reviews. And thank you for all the questions, all the good talks afterwards. Again, next Friday, we're going to be playing through all of Lord of the Rings trick-taking game with our good friend Jimmy. And it's going to be a good time. It'll be 10 o'clock a week from now. So we will see you all later. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and bye.
Bye.